is Raghunandan. Uh, I was a professor in Manipal University handling corporate education, which means that I had an occasion to probably take sessions for bank officers and insurance officers. It was an ongoing process. It's really my pleasure to be interacting with you guys who have taken the first step towards carving a very rewarding career for yourselves in your respective banks. Mute yourselves. In case you want to raise any questions, seek any clarifications, you are most welcome. You can raise your hand here, and then I'll get back to you. Uh, I would also be sharing my phone number, which is my WhatsApp number, and also my mail ID with you, so that any clarifications that you need, you can just WhatsApp me or you can connect with me on the mail. So with this, friends, I'm sure we'll have a lovely time uh, learning together, I should say. Remember this, friends. Section 5B of the Banking Regulation Act defines banking. This may be a question in the exam. Which section of which act defines banking? It is Section 5B of Banking Regulations Act. It says banking is the business of A. Accepting deposits of money from the public. B. For what? For the purpose of lending or investment. C. Repayable on demand or otherwise. D. Withdrawable by check, draft, or other order or otherwise. These are also the requirements to be called a bank. That is, accepting deposits of money from the public for the purpose of lending and investment, repayable on demand or otherwise, withdrawable by check, draft, order, or otherwise. Friends, one thing that always interested me was why this word otherwise was used. Look at the, I think, the wonderful intellectual thinking of of our elders who have probably come out with this definition. See, check, draft, order, or otherwise. You know about check, you know about draft. At that point of time, they would have foreseen that maybe bankers will come out with so many facilities like internet banking, mobile transfers, ATMs. So that is the reason why the word otherwise is used there. And who is a banker, friend? People working in a bank are called bankers. People who are doing what the bank is supposed to do is called a banker. Right? Because when I say banker, you are a banker, I am an ex-banker, but we never use public money. The bank, we are an instrument there. That's all. Right? A banker is one who has taken banking as a profession. Right? Now, what are the permitted business? As you said, see, accepting deposits, lending loans, investment, primary functions of the bank. Now, there are certain other permitted businesses also that the bank can undertake. This is as per section 6(1) of BR Act. Now let us just have a passing reference on that. The bank's discount bills, of course, we'll all go through what is the bill discounting and all at some point of time later on. Collection of checks and bills, remittances through demand drafts, say through NEFT, through RTGS, mobile transfers, safe custody. We accept things for safe custody. We provide safe deposit vaults. We also undertake foreign currency transactions, government transactions we undertake, like pension, etc., this dispersal of pension, etc. We issue LCs and bank guarantees. Also undertake wealth management services. We'll get into all this. Project appraisals. They sell third-party products like insurance, mutual funds, and friends, I'm sure you are very well aware of that. You have got this additional responsibility of selling third-party products, right? We are also into executor trustee services. What is that? We'll discuss later on. We are into acceptance of taxes and government receipts and payment pensions. We are also franking stamp duty on the documents. We are into securities trading. We are into factoring. We are into venture capital financing and demat services. The bank has risen above its two primary functions of accepting deposits, lending, and investment. We also do all these businesses which are permitted as per section 6(1) of BR Act. So Section 5B of BR Act defines what is banking. Section 6(1) of BR Act tells us what are the permitted businesses that are being undertaken by the bank. Okay. Now we'll get into a banker-customer relationship. Uh, we know, friends, who is a customer. We'll also discuss that. Of course, as of now, no law defines who a customer is. It's only after the enactment of PMLA Act 2002 that a customer was defined. Uh, Banker-customer relationship is a legal relationship, right? That is established through availing of banking service. Any banking service you avail, anyone who avails a banking service becomes a customer of the bank. But the relationship itself depends on the type of service, right? Because we have sisters, we have brothers, we have mothers, we have grandmothers, right? And similar, the relationship is not the same in our personal life. Similarly, the customer relationship with the bank also is not the same. It depends upon what type of service he is availing from us, right? Uh, as of now, as I told you, no law defines a customer. But generally, some person or an entity having an account or business relationship with a bank is called a customer. For example, if someone who walks in may not be having an account with you, but he may be consistently coming through to you for purchasing a DD or for remitting through NEFT an amount of say 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000, right? If he's doing it continuously over a period of time, he has been availing a business some service from you. He has got a business relationship with you, and hence he can be called a customer of the bank. So he may not be having any savings account or current account with you, or even a term deposit for that matter. Now, friends, look at this. I'll give you a couple of examples. A minor account operated by the father, who is a guardian. Now, who is the customer for you? Is it the minor or the guardian? Yeah, absolutely fine. Both are customers for you. It is the minor's money which is invested there, so he's a customer. The guardian is continuously operating the minor's account, right? So both are customers. An account of a professional intermediary. Who is a professional intermediary? The chartered accountants, stock brokers. What they do, they open accounts with banks, but the money that is rooted in that account is not their own money. It is the money of their clients. A stockbroker may have many clients with him. A chartered accountant may have many clients with him. So he opens an account with you, which is called a professional intermediary account. But the money rooted in that account belongs to the clients. In this case, the clients of this professional intermediary are also your customers, even though you would not have probably met them face to face, right? So the professional intermediary is also your customer. So PMLA Act 2002 defines who a customer is. I told you there was no act which defined a customer previously, but now PMLA Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 defines who a customer is. Listen carefully, friends. Section 2 defines customer as a client. It defines customer as a client. Now, who is a client? A client is a person engaged in a financial transaction or activity with a registered entity. It can be a regulated entity also. A registered entity is one which needs some licenses to run the business. A regulated entity is one which is always answerable to the regulators. Banks are answerable to Reserve Bank of India, right? Among others. And includes a person on whose behalf the person engaged in the transaction is acting. That is why I gave you an example of a minor account and example of a professional intermediary account. So far, so good, friends. Let's look at certain relationships. Okay. Now look at it. Well, who is a debtor? The debtor is the one who has to pay the money. If you have borrowed money from your friend, you are the debtor because you have to pay the money. And your friend who has to receive the money or who has given the money to you is called a creditor, right? So when I accept deposit as a bank from the public, am I a debtor or a creditor? Debtor is one who has to pay the money, right? When I accept deposits from the public, I will have to pay the money back to them ultimately.
You can have a screenshot of it if you need, right? Because among this, you may get one question definitely in the examination. For example, while accepting deposit, what is the relationship? It is debtor creditor. Banker is the debtor, customer is the creditor. Similarly, while giving loans, who has given the loan? The bank has given the loan.
Hmm.
Who has to repay it? The
Customer.
customer borrower has to repay it, right? So there it is creditor debtor. The banker is the creditor, the customer is the debtor, right? Opposite to the deposits, right? Safe deposit lockers. Friends, now don't have a look at the slide. Just tell me what is the relationship you think is under safe deposit lockers. Lessor, lessee. Yeah, I will just clarify there. It was lessor lessee relationship earlier. Now, if you remember, there are instructions from the banks, from all the banks, that you will have to ask the locker holders to enter into a fresh agreement, right? And most of the banks have done it. Now, whoever is taking the locker afresh is also signing a fresh agreement. The wordings of that agreement has changed. Previously, it was lessor, lessee, 100% right. What was the problem there? As per the act itself, person who has taken the locker is a lessee, right? Now, the lessee could have sublet the locker to someone else. You could say, and there was no law that would probably prevent him from doing that. In a couple of cases, I have taken the locker, I have sublet it to my friend. It had happened unofficially. So the banks, some of the banks ran into some serious problems there. So now they said the relationship would be licensor, licensee. Licensor is the one who is giving the safe deposit locker, who is giving it a license, who is giving the license to whom? To the locker hirer who can use the locker. He is called a licensee. Licensor is the bank, licensee is the customer. Now, licensee, as per the act, cannot transfer the license to someone else. To prevent that, this relationship has changed. So, safe deposit lockers, it is licensor, licensee. The banker is the licensor, the customer is the licensee. Okay. Safe custody, even though we may not be very largely into it, we accept some articles for safe custody, which will be packed in a box, sealed, and then given to us. We don't know what is there in the box, so we give them a receipt saying that received a box purported to contain whatever the customer says, maybe property documents, maybe gold coins, whatever it is, purported to contain, and give a receipt to the customer. The customer, when he wants to take back the box deposited, will have to resubmit the receipt to us. Here, the relationship is bailor bailee. The banker is the one who is receiving it. So he is called the bailee. In case of safe custody, the customer comes and gives the articles to the bank. The banker receives it. So he is called a bailee. The customer is the one who gives it. So he is called a bailor. Bailor bailee relationship there. Now there can also be some things which are left back inadvertently. Some customer may come and meet the manager, or he may be at the counter. While going back, he might just forget his costly pen on the counter. He might just forget his mobile on the counter. He might just forget his I don't know, maybe a ring on the counter, right? But then the bank has the responsibility there, because the customer has left behind something in the bank premises, even though by inadvertence. So here the relationship is trustee beneficiary. The banker is the trustee because the banker will hold such articles left behind inadvertently as a trustee. A trustee is one who takes care of the interest of the beneficiary. So the customer is the beneficiary because the whatever has been left behind has to be handed over to the beneficiary, right? So issuance of demand draft, the buyer of demand draft, we call it principal agent relationship, because the customer is the principal. He is telling you to issue a demand draft, and you are issuing a demand draft as an agent of the customer. So the banker is the agent, the customer is the principal. In case of issuance of DD, relationship with the bank, with the buyer is principal agent. Here, friends, there are two schools of thought. One school of thought says it can also be a debtor creditor relationship because bank has to pay back the money which he has taken while issuing a demand draft ultimately to someone else. Customer has given that money, right? The one school of thought says it can be a debtor creditor relationship also, but another school of thought says the banker is not returning the money to the same customer in case of demand draft, because unless the demand draft is cancelled, the money is not paid to the demand draft purchaser. It is paid to a third party who is the payee. So the relationship would be principal agent. Agent is the bank, principal is the customer. Now, what is the relationship with the payee of the demand draft? It is trustee beneficiary again. Because if I purchase a demand draft in favor of my son, the amount has to be paid to my son when he presents a demand draft. So the bank has to hold the money as a trustee till such time my son presents a demand draft and seeks the payment. So banker is a trustee and the customer is a beneficiary. The payee is a beneficiary. Check collection against agent principal. The banker collects the check only at the instruction of the customer. So customer is the principal, banker is the agent. Wrong credit given. Sometimes what we do, uh, hopefully such mistakes should not be costly. We give credit to a wrong account. All right. So in such cases, who has benefited? The customer has benefited, right? But the customer, even though he has got a wrong credit, he cannot keep the money with him. He has to keep the money with him only to repay it to the banker when the banker identifies the mistake and asks him to repay. In such a case, the customer is holding the money as a trustee. The banker is the beneficiary, right? So money deposited, but no instructions given. Sometimes what I do in my hurry, I go and write out a credit slip, but I do not write the account number at all. Even in such cases, the money deposited where no instructions are given, the banker is holding the money as a trustee and the customer is the beneficiary. Standing instructions, agent principal. Because bank is the agent, who gives the standing instructions? The customer. Bank is an agent, customer is the principal. Pledge, in case of pledge, mortgagee and all, pledge, mortgage and all, the person who receives it is called E. The E is the person who receives it. The OR is the person who gives it. In case of pledge, what is a pledge? I come to you for a gold loan. I want a loan. So I hand over the ornaments to you. When I am handing over the ornaments to you, I am the pledger because I am handing over the ornaments. The bank is receiving the ornaments. The bank becomes the pledgee. Same mortgager, in case of mortgage, the customer is the mortgager, the bank is the mortgagee. See, the relationship I spoke about, we discussed right now, are all relationship in the normal sense of the word. That is, when you accept, when some transactions happen. But we have got some special relationships also. How do they emanate? See, an account holder need not operate his account by himself. He can always delegate his authority to others, right? To a third party. How is this authority delegated? This authority can be delegated in two ways. The customer can give a mandate or a power of attorney. Now, we will have to distinguish between the two. What is a mandate? What is a power of attorney? Okay. First, we will see what is a mandate. Mandate is a simple letter addressed to the bank. I am having an account with your bank. I come to the branch of your bank where I am having an account. I write on a A4 sheet of paper addressed to you saying that since I am not able to operate my account all by myself, I hereby authorize Mr. So and so to operate my account. Right? And that Mr. So and so will sign. You will take the specimen signature card. You will also take the KYC documents. You will also take the photograph. Right? Uh, this is not a mandate, friends, is not applicable to other accounts with other banks. If I give a mandate to operate my savings account to my wife, she can only operate my savings account with your bank. She cannot take the same mandate and go to, let us say, some other bank and say, I want to operate this account. So mandate is bank specific, right? And it can be revoked at any point of time. At any point of time, it can be revoked. Mandates can be given by only individuals, non-individuals. We don't entertain mandate, even though they can also delegate the powers, but we insist for a power of attorney. We insist for a power of attorney. Now, what is a power of attorney? Power of attorney is something which has got sweeping powers, right? Person giving a power of attorney is called the principal, and the holder is the agent. If I execute a power of attorney on a non-judicial stamp paper, remember, mandate is executed only on a plain sheet of paper addressed to the specific bank, whereas power of attorney should be executed on a non-judicial stamp paper of requisite value. Then the person, if I am giving the authority, I am called the principal. And if I am giving the authority to my wife or to my friend to operate the account, he is called the agent, right? There are two types of power of attorneys. One is general, which are also called universal power of attorney, where I give sweeping powers. You can do anything on my behalf, right? And there is another attorney called special or limited power of attorney, where I will say, you can only operate my account. You can only manage my estate. So he can't go beyond that. If I say, if I execute a general power of attorney, the attorney holder, the agent, has got powers to take the same power of attorney to all the banks where I have got an account and then say, I will start operating account. Because in a power of attorney, normally I do not specify which account he has to be operating on my behalf. I'll just tell him he is authorized to operate all my bank accounts. So he can come to ICICI Bank, give a copy. He can go to Bank of Baroda, give a copy. He can go to IDBI Bank, where I got an account, give a copy, and start operating the account. Sometimes what happens, if I give a special power of attorney saying that he can only operate my account, then obviously he can't open an account. He cannot close the account. Correct? If I give a general power of attorney where I say specifically he can open, operate, and close, then only the banker can act upon it. A power of attorney is, you have to follow it very strictly. You cannot ask the agent to do something which the principal has not authorized, which the principal has not given the power. So if the power of attorney says, my name is Raghunandan, I have executed a power of attorney. I have given the right to operate my account to my wife. Then my wife can only operate the account. But if I say the agent, my wife, can open, operate, and close my account, then she can either open, she can operate, and she can close as well. Is it clear now? Particularly where some accounts are being operated on power of attorney, friends, please make doubly sure that the power of attorney bestows the right to the agent. If it says he can only operate, don't allow him to open the account. Don't allow him to close the account. He can only operate the account. But if it says he can open, operate, and close, then definitely you can allow all these three things. Okay. Power of attorney, it should be registered. Normally, it is to be registered. Okay. So, general power of attorney covers wide range of transactions and gives sweeping powers to the agent. He can do anything. Limited power of attorney is issued for a specific task. So after the task is over, that power of attorney is no more valid, right? Now the question is, if I have given a mandate to someone to operate my account, if I have given a power of attorney to someone to operate an account, after that, can I also operate the account? That is a question. Can I do that? Because I would have told there, my agent will operate the account only when I am not able to operate my account. So just by giving a mandate or power of attorney, it does not mean that I am debarred from operating my account. I can operate my account. Okay. And power of attorney or mandate, friends. This is very clear. On the death, lunacy, or insolvency of the person who has given the mandate or power of attorney, it is automatically revoked on death, insolvency, and lunacy. Again, the question is only if it has come to your notice. If it has not come to your notice, you are not an astrologer to foresee whether the customer is alive or dead, but it has come to your notice directly or indirectly. Indirectly means it is the photograph is published in the newspaper in the obituary column, and you come to know that this guy has got an account with you. He has given a mandate. He has given a power of attorney. Then, since the notice of his death is there, you have come to know indirectly. You will have to stop the operations. Death, lunacy, and insolvency.